सरस्वते नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धेर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् हरि ओम कृष्ण वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् Namaste. Yes, Aditi ji or Chitra ji, anybody can recollect what is it that we saw last? Yes, please. Anybody? Yeah. Yes, please.
Right.
Okay, Chitraji is taking ahead. All right.
Yeah, we see a case where a case of poisoning, uh, and it was a case of severe poisoning that had happened, and we see that Sri Aurobindo's force also was sent and it healed. And we also see that the person who had consumed poison, he seemed to be a practitioner of Hatha Yoga. So
Hatha
he
yoga.
developed great immunity against, yeah. And because he didn't have any symptoms as such when he was poisoned as such. So we saw that thing. And also, we see an exchange of conversation where Sri Aurobindo provides his assurance that he will not forsake Dr. Nirodbaran, and a series of conversation on patients, reports, and case summaries we saw. And Sri Aurobindo also says that he has been battling some negative forces that keep trying to deter him from progressing, but however, he is unshakable. And we see that Dr. Nirodbaran has started to take some studies in English for recreational purposes. And Dr. Nirodbaran also says that if Sri Aurobindo uh, could smile a bit whenever, so that it can make sadhaks a bit revitalized, and he should consider that. And he also, when explaining that, he just says that ashram is like a desert, for which Sharvindo says that it's the mind that creates all these perceptions. And it can be a desert or paradise, though neither of those exist. And it is all in the mind that creates this. And we saw that incident where Dr. Nirod Baran says about his dream, where he sees the mother doing, touching his forehead, and asks if it's just an imagination or it's something that happened, for which Sherbindo says that those planes are real as much as the physical world is, and something that got fixed in the vital plane has to happen in the physical world for for Dr. Nirodharan is what Sherbindo says.
Yes, Chitraji. So just if we look at it in one way now, so there are other reams. Sri Aurobindo has talked about there are other reams of consciousness where multiple possibilities are there. Those are the reams which are unmanifest. In the Gita, what we call avyakta, that which has not yet manifest. So at any given time, sometimes people who are in the path of sadhana, they get an opening, they get some kind of connection with that dream. So they get, some of them get glimpses, some of them get feelings, some of them get some kind of, sometimes even clairvoyance. Exactly, it all depends on the individual. Some yogis would be able to see what is going to happen. And there were some yogis, like there was one, Damliji kept talking about, Dr. Pavi Vartak. He could see, it seems, the previous lives also of that individual. Damliji had gone and asked him also about himself. And he had told something to Damliji about seeing Damliji wander around like a sadhu. There was some, but what we want to look at it is this dream that Dr. Nirodharan got. It was about the mother. She was writing something. So this writing something could be writing a new consciousness, writing some new tale, new story, or transferring of something happening, and that was indicatory of probably a new consciousness that would be rising in Dr. Nirodbaran. Any questions regarding this? If you have, we can look at it, or we go ahead. Yes, Chitraji and Aditya we have other two participants only today. So you can feel free. Do you have any questions regarding this? If not, we go ahead. Yeah, all right. Let's continue. We go back to the milk, tea, and butter. Dr. Nirodbaran had said, by milk, tea, and butter, I meant a greater quantity of milk with a little tea, bread, and butter. How can that be implied unless you say bread and butter? Well, the idea is to fill up the clavicular and other hollows in the body. So, laughing alone can't make one fat, and without a little fat, it is said one hardly looks like a doctor. So, Dr. Niradharan is ridiculing himself. He's saying, what is this? The clavicles, no? Uh, we have these shoulder bones and shoulder blades, scapula and clavicle. So he says, my clavicular area is so hollow. So I have to have a little butter, a little bit bread. Why? Because he says it is to fill up that. Laughing alone will not make me fat. And without fat, I will look like a patient, not like a doctor. So I have to be having a little bit of adipose. But the question is, do we have this ability to fill up certain areas only just by eating? Can we fill up certain areas? No, no. That is not. But still, this is Dr. Nirodharan. He is a doctor. So he is being humorous. His milk, tea and butter is actually, he wants little tea, bread and butter. But I think a little bit of adipose is not bad at all. That's what he's suggesting. So let's continue. Shrivindu replies, fat equal to medical knowledge? Question mark. Or a doctor thinks with his fat and not with his brain? Another question mark. By the self-buttering. But the self-buttering is your affair. I have no idea one way or the other in the matter. Yat he chasi tatha kuru, Krishna has told. So now in that you are going to go and ask, can I have butter? Can I apply butter on this side of the bread only or not? These are all your questions. They are not mine, is what Shervindo is trying to say. Nirodharan goes on. You discover it too late, sir. No escape now, but to drag us, the ignorant fools. And it is for this very reason I was protesting that fools can't do what avatars can. However, question mark. Shervindo replies, well, they can if they stop being fools. Again, he also repeats, however. This is a jugalbandi actually going on. Whatever joke Nirodharan cracks, Shervindo kind of uses that same tone. Nirodharan says, can you enlighten me how its happenings have some great effect on this world? I have a personal interest too. Sure, this is in relation to the dreams. This is in relation to that dream and its effect in the personal world. We're having Dr. Nirodharan himself asking. This is nice. He's asked a question. So we will get some clarity from Shervin. Shervindo replies, the physical world is only a last field in which not only the physical forces, but those of other worlds also throw themselves for realization. So we have all heard of this world being the field, isn't it? Yeah. In the Gita, anybody remembers this world being a field? Any reference to the Gita we can think of?
Kshetra and Kshetrajna.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Aditya this Kshetra, this Kshetra, and there is one Kshetrajna, isn't it? You know, Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata means it is the divine. Divine is pervading all the Kshetras that we are aware of. and also the occult planes. So there is one Raja for all this Kshetrajna. There is one Adipati or one Supreme. That is the Kshetrajna. So this we are right now looking at the metaphysics of this physical world only. It is a last field, meaning the final plane of manifestation. It is the material manifestation is what is connected to the physical world. And in Sri Aurobindo's yoga, we do not dismiss the physical world. Even in Krishna's, we see here Krishna telling Ihaiva. We are not going to wait for another auspicious time or auspicious muhurta or an auspicious birth to get the full realization. We can try, we can aspire, and we can receive it in this birth itself if we strive. That is what Krishna has also been telling. So here, so not only the physical forces, but those of the other worlds also throw themselves for realization. So a permutation and combination is happening. That is why we say talk good, think good, speak good. Why? Because you want to reinforce those forces which are trying to manifest good instead of allowing those which are not. Imagine somebody doing a good work and is, oh, I'm going to mess up everything. I'm going to mess it up. Something wrong is going to happen. What is going to happen is you are going to become less alert. You will be inviting the other forces. That's why there's this mantra, isn't it? Bhadram karne bhir shrunyam devaha Bhadram Pashimakshapiryatraha Sthirairangai Sushtuvan Svasthanubhi Vyashema Deva Hitam Yadayu means Bhadram Karnevi Shrunyam Deva. Let my ears hear that which is auspicious. Let my eyes see that which is auspicious because we want to reinforce reinforce that which is good, isn't it? Just imagine you go and face a very difficult problem which is unsurmountable. At that moment, it may be unsurmountable to you according to your rational logic or to your due to some limitations. It may look like it is too much for you. And if you add to that force, "Okay, this is not possible, this is going to happen. What is going to happen in that case then? You are going to allow that which is not required to manifest, isn't it? Because ultimately we are where in which world, all of us? We are in the physical world, isn't it? This is the plane of manifestation, meaning we are instruments. We are the ones that are going to be working. We are the ones that divine is going to use for bringing about a manifestation. So, whom are we going to be receptive to? Divine's constructive forces? Or are we going to be? That is the question. Nimitta matra of what? So this physical world has got influence of others, other planes also. So we need to learn to throw them out, but are not is not required. Sherwindo has talked about so lower vital plane. There is one more inconscient plane also. These are all dark planes. They bring in unnecessary thoughts. Like for example, when we started the cleaning up initiative in the beach, first thing was we started doing, and few of us we were overwhelmed. What are we going to do? And a lot of people then suddenly from Wiki, it was like suggestions of other worlds, other forces coming through people. Nothing good is going to happen. This is not your job. What are you going to do? You're wasting your energy. No point. Don't form an organization. Again, you're going to register it. What are you doing? Why? All so many negative thoughts. But all those people who were working, and in between the people also sometimes questions and answers. In that there was like discord coming up suddenly. So what is all of these? These are all outer forces. But somewhere everybody was aligned to bring about a manifestation. And when that came, then slowly things started falling in place. We are also feeling we don't know how things are falling in place. We're not understanding how it's happening, who is coming from where, what, when we are not trying to analyze it also. Because what has to let it, but on our side. So this is the thing. In the beautiful aspect, you see, whatever happens here has already been prepared or foreshadowed in the vital. It does not happen exactly as represented in the vital, but with a change suitable for the material world. But this is a big subject, can't be dealt with tonight. It's like you prepare a speech, for example. If you go rigidly with your prepared speech without really looking at the ground factors, what's going to happen? It's not going to be an effective speech at all because you're not connected. I have a big politician who did not know Hindi but wanted the votes of Hindi voters. She began reading out her prepared speech. आज का सूरज आज ये सूरज में आप आए हो आज के and it was raining. So you see, this is a material world. What is happening now? It's raining and you're talking about sunlight because you're not really connected. So this is not how it happens. The planes, they are connected with the material manifestation, so they make adjustments looking at the instrument. Krishna also told, no, Arjuna, I'm not dependent on you. You would have changed the instrument, used another instrument, but that would have been a last minute, what we call, I think, has anybody heard of this contingency measures or contingency plans? Yes, anyone? Can you tell me something about that? What is it?
Yeah, if anything can go wrong, then
You have
the
a plan B.
countermeasure, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah. Yes. In case of some issue, and many times this is used in the corporate field also.
yeah.
What is the so this is because we are ready, isn't it? Because variable factors are so many in the world. So it is something in the language of forces also. And it makes a slight adjustment according to. It's like a good speaker will be able to identify the pulse of the audience and quickly ask a question which is going to prick the audience only and then bring the audience back into track if they are going away. Because that molding is required. And this is what the forces are doing, meaning there may be possibilities. Multiple possibilities may be there for manifestation. But while manifestation is happening, depending on ground situation, they make some alterations. And that is what Sri Aurobindo is saying, but he's saying it's a huge subject, just can't be dealt tonight. So let us continue. And okay, sorry, Sri Aurobindo says, Dr. Nirodbaran says, and can't you be a little more explicit and precise about that writing on the forehead? Something impure. Yes, Johiji, would you want to add something or ask something? No, is it? All right, then I'll mute you. Please feel free to unmute if anybody wants to ask anything. Anytime, please don't wait for me to ask. Dr. Nirvan says, and can't you be a little more explicit and precise about that writing on the forehead? Something impure that has come up? Question mark. We usually associate the vital with impurity. Now, what was his dream? Anybody? What was his dream, or we call it vision? What was it, Dr. Nirodbaran's? Anyone, if you can recollect? Yeah,
Father
Chitraji,
was writing something on his forehead. Something,
was there something impure in that?
I
There was no
think.
mention of anything being impure, isn't it?
Yes, nothing is such.
Yeah. The writing of the forehead, Shrivindu had said. Writing on the forehead means, of course, something that is fixed in you, in the vital plane, and has to come out hereafter in the physical consciousness. So, what is this vital plane? That Nirodbaran has somehow connected the vital plane with the impurity. So, like there is some impurity which is being fixed. Is it that? Is what he's asking. Something impure that has come up? We usually associate vital with impurity. Why the Apollyon do you suppose that all the vital things are impure? Apollyon is the another word for devil. Sri Aurobindo had read a lot of Greek and Latin writing, so he has used the Greek word for devil. Why the Apollyon do you again? My pronunciation may be wrong. Okay, you can anybody can correct me if it is. Let's. I'm just attempting. Why the Apollyon do you suppose that all the vital things are impure? The vital has strength, ardor, enthusiasm, self confidence, generosity, the victor spirit, a host of other very necessary things. The only difficulty is that they get mixed up with others that are impure. All the same, they are there and much needed. So, what is this vital plane? Vital plane is many times people, equate it with like an emotional plane, emotions. So, the question is, do we need emotions or we don't need emotions? Yes, are emotions necessary or they are unnecessary? Anyone in living beings? Just because we are walking on the spiritual path, do you think we need to lose them all? Yes. Okay, Chitraji wants to say something.
No, I
Aditi
mean,
nodded no. Okay. Yeah.
emotions are needed as long as we don't become their slaves or
Ah. Okay, so emotions are very much, no, isn't it? A mother should feel mamta, no? That mamatva should be there. You cannot, a stone only maybe is bereft of emotions, but we human beings are. So, like that, some things are necessary, some things are not. The vital plane is also, it is a plane of energy, it is a plane of a lot of good things also. But just like how we say Rajas Guna, na? Rajoguna, we say Rajaguna is not so good. But you remove Rajas completely. You're removing petrol of your vehicle. How will your vehicle move without that fuel? So Rajas can be the fuel for moving ahead, provided you're controlling it. You go too fast on a bike, what's going to happen? It will crash. An accident will take place. It is something like that. The vital is also like a wild horse. I think the mother has only said this somewhere. I've heard Damneji tell. What about the wild horse? Well, the horse has to be tamed. And when you tame the horse, then you can go much, much further than what a human being can easily travel on foot, isn't it? So, like that, this vital plane need not be bad. What are the good things in the vital plane? Sri Aurobindo has told us here. He says there is strength. Strength is required. Strength in all types. We need that. We need in the physical, we need in the mental, we need in even our emotional aspects. We need to be strong. If we don't have that strength, what's going to happen? Oh, God will do everything. I will remain a punching bag for all the people and all the forces. I'm so weak. I don't have any strength of my own. All these kinds of negative thoughts make a person a what we can say puppet of lower forces. So that time we need to connect with the vital strength. That is why we have these different mantras, the chantings, Hanuman Chalisa. Why is that? What is the reason? It is for that only. For me, suddenly, it was like maybe sudden force from the vital plane rushed into me to help me on Hanuman Jayanti. Damleji had suddenly, my mother told Damleji to recite this Hanuman Chalisa in the Indori style, the style which Damleji had learnt. And it was with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of vigor and force. And after listening to that, I suddenly felt inspired, as if, yes, I want to do something. So I went to Damleji and asked him, can I write Gita in rhymes? If he told me no, it would have not made much of a difference. But he said yes, and then that journey started. So maybe that pull was required. I would not have dared. At that time, it was 2013 or something. Around that time, no experience, nothing. Just the force. Some nowhere. I didn't know where I got. Even now, I feel it's crazy. Maybe on an ordinary quiet day, assuming I've never written that book, if I think of writing, I say, no, how will I write this book? I cannot write this. But at that time, listening to it, probably it pushed. So we need to get that strength. Why people say Hara, Hara, Mahadev, and then suddenly that force, Pran Sancharan changes. That is the strength, that strength of the vital. So we don't want to dismiss the vital just because it has drawbacks. That's again a mistake which people do. People think on the spiritual path, I don't need all of this. No, it's not right. Sri Aurobindo has beautifully said, it's strength. Adhyatma is for the strong, not for those who are just weak or who don't have any other. People say, when I don't have anything to do after retirement, I'm going to do spiritual work. What will you do after you don't after retirement? You're tired. You're not wanting to do anything new. And that time, it is when you have a lot of strength, you have to increase it further. That is what is vital. Another thing, enthusiasm, the order, the self-confidence. This also. Self-confidence comes where? Who requires it? Everybody requires it. And if we go back to our difficult moments in life where we have taken some strong decisions, we have summoned the self-confidence to take those decisions. Say it could be preparing even just for preparing for an exam, or it could be taking a decision in life which changes everything. From where does it come? You do not know, but it comes. But it's from there. I do not know. Now also it's very crazy for me how I felt. I saw Damini, this is the right place for me to be. I said bye bye to my engineering degree. Today I look at it, I say, oh, at that time, what was it? I said, from where did that confidence come? I don't know. I was like, please, I went to that UK college, I wrote, please feel free to remove my name from the system because I have joined an NGO in my city. Madam, I had no idea what's going to happen, but I don't know where it comes from. It comes from elsewhere, and we need all of this to do the right action because we are always, when we do the right action, we are always going to be countered by forces which will prevent the right action. Bhagavad Gita is about that, isn't it? Five Pandavas. How many Kauravas? 100, 101. If you see, these are the opposing forces only. Pancha are Pancha Pandavas, Pancha are the Pancha Indriyas also. These Indriyas are being plagued by the attacks of 101 different forces. If you call it 100 also. In the Kathopanishad, it's 101. In the Gita, it is said 100. About the forces. Asha, Pasha, Shatair, Badhaha. These are the 100 bonds of desire that trap and bind an individual, pulling that person down. We have to become free from them. So, anyway, let us continue. The only difficulty as sharing this is that they get mixed up with other things that are impure. All the same, they are there and much needed. It's like how love is also, isn't it? A love is a wonderful emotion which will allow us to move ahead. But what happens in that? Position comes, insecurity comes, greed comes in, lust comes in, all this. What it does is, if you imagine like a beautiful painting has been done and somebody has thrown black ink. You're spoiling that. It is this a vital plane. That is why we have to be alert when we are drawing strength from the vital plane that it doesn't go elsewhere. It doesn't get deviated, but it is not to be discarded. Without the vitality, we will not be anything. We need it, and definitely it's required. Then Nirodbaran goes on. What is this something fixed in the vital? Nirodbaran is asking, what is this something fixed in the vital? If anything impure is to happen, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Besides, I am not afraid of anything since that memorable never of yours. He got it out, no, from his guru. Will you promise that you'll never leave me? And he says, no, I'll not leave you. He is happy. I'm never going to be alone. So he says, now I can take on anything. Give me the warning. I'm ready to face. I'm already reinforced by the fact that you will never be away from me. Shrevindo replies, great muggins, man. What a mess you have made of my explanation. I meant that by writing on your forehead, the mother had fixed something in you on the vital plane. That something which she has fixed will in time come out, manifest, be produced, born. How much Shrevindo has to explain? Born, fulfilled in this slightly obtuse physical consciousness of yours on the material plane. It's like if this consciousness of yours, it's slightly obtuse, slightly, misinterpreting everything. But in this consciousness of yours also, it is going to be born. That is the meaning of what he had written. Produce itself out of latency, like the sainthood in Muthu. See, why on earth should the mother write something impure on your forehead? Something good, of course. Something meaning to be there. Something of your spiritual future, realization. kind of affair. What? If you echo me and ask, what? What? I can't tell you. No data in the dream. And as a conscious scientific person, I refuse to interpret without data. So he's again sarcastically, everything is scientific. You need data. You see, I am a very conscious scientific person. I have not got data, so I will not interpret this. Again, now here, Nirodbaran has got a second dream. He says, here is another dream. But look at it how he is writing it. It's supposed to be rejoicing, no? But let's see how he says. Again, we cannot judge. This is a beautiful one-on-one relation. So here is another dream. We were all sitting in the pranam hall in the morning when mother came down smiling and began to look around. There seemed to be many invisible presences. I felt Christ was there too. Then she sat down, and a blazing ray of blue light was focused on her from somewhere. Her appearance became marvelous. This gave me immense joy. Sri Aurobindo says, well, you are beginning to have very good dream experiences on the vital plane. Very beautiful and true. That is something. But what I wonder what Christ was doing there. Perhaps he came to be converted from the gospel of sorrow. But that would be the Christian Christ, not the real one. Nirodban goes on. Enclosed is a long, perhaps too long controversy, but the subject demands it. You may read it at one, two, or three stretches. Please write an exhaustive reply, but in ink. He said, I want a long reply and write it in ink. I want it. What is it about? Yeah, there is. Okay, A typed a letter of 5 pages talking on the subject of avatarhood. C letter of March 6, 1935. Hmm. Should we go to the letter? That'll be better, isn't it? Hmm. Just give me a moment. Hmm. Okay, I think we'll just go with the flow. All right, we'll just go with the flow. We have the time. We'll be covering this March 6th letter also. But it's interesting
I
because
think it is starting from here because after the whole write-up, the date comes. So it is
Acha.
so it is in segments, the whole letter. So
Okay, okay. Right. So this is a letter which has been broken down.
yeah,
And okay, then
because
we'll go with the
yeah,
flow.
yeah.
Yeah, all right. Nirod, underlined. On the back, the rational and logical results of your arguments, I shall write certain irrational answers on your manuscript in ink. They have all typed it, but they want Sri Aurobindo to respond in ink, to write on it. You have won all along the line. Who would resist such a lava torrent of logic? Slightly mixed, but still, you have convinced me, first, that there never was, nor could be an avatar. Number two, that all the so called avatars were chimerical fools and failures. Number three, that there is no divinity or divine element in man. Number four, that I have never had any true difficulties or struggles, and that if I had any, it was all my fun. As KS said of my new meters, that they were only Mr. Ghosh's fun. 5. that if ever there was or will be a real avatar, I am not he, but that I knew before. Number six, that all I have done or the mother has done is a mere sham, sufferings, struggles, conquests, defeats, the way found, the way followed, the call to others to follow everything. It was all make believe since I was the divine and nothing could touch me and none follow me. Just full stop. Since this is actually, we must understand the context. It is a completely a sarcastic statement. Many times people don't really get the sarcasm and then misinterpret things. Here it is clearly, he's saying this is the end result of the logic. I talked about once, I had a 3 hour talk about Bhakti Yoga just last week. And somebody said that that person was very much like how our Usha Maji has got experience, isn't it, with mother and child. So this person talked about something similar. I had given her example and she kind of equated it. But at the end of it, she started saying all the avatars attempted suicide and ended their lives in suicide. I was shocked. What is this logic? Then I had to tell her it's quite a harsh statement, and where is the logic in that? But this is the what we can say is a problem of sometimes just mental logic without really understanding. Means your logic should not shoot off in an opposite direction. Look at these inferences. Sri Aurobindo is saying it's not Sri Aurobindo is convinced by this logic, but he's saying according to this logic, you are putting a basic question mark on everything, and that is why we have to be very clever in not engaging in unnecessary logical discussions. Somebody comes and tells you, "Oh, this is what is your opinion?" I am a fool. Why should my opinion count? I don't have. Damliji very nicely says, opinion is like an onion. You keep peeling it. Ultimately, nothing is going to be left, and everybody has an opinion. So here, this logical statement that is having lots of flaws, Sri Aurobindo is pointing out. See, this is what you are implying. That is truly a discovery, a downright knockout, which leaves me convinced, convicted, amazed, gasping. I won't go on. There is no space. But there are scores of other luminous convictions that your logic has forced on me. But what to do next? You have put me in a terrible fix, and I see no way out of it. For if the way, the yoke, is merely a sham, fun, and chimera, then, meaning this logic is questioning the entire purpose. And he says, okay, I have got convinced by what you have said. Now, why should I do sadhana? Sri Aurobindo is asking his Shishya, what next now? There is nothing then. Here begins my typed letter. Sri Aurobindo's answer, written in hand on the same sheets, was never sent. I first read it after it was discovered among some old papers of Sri Aurobindo in 1981. Dr. Nirodbaran has written a note for us that his letter is where it began. No? It is beginning from here. And the answer was written in hand on the same sheets, but it was not sent. So he read it after it was discovered in some old papers in 1981. Wow. You see, 35 and 81. But you can see there is one person who has not deviated, one person who has not left the path. There was one person who is still working with conviction. That is our Dr. Nirodbaran. So here comes the letter, quite a strong one. I have read your essays on the Gita, synthesis of yoga, letter on Rama, and though I am wiser, my original and fundamental difficulty remains as unsolved as ever. What is so simple to you, as everything is, appears mightily complex and abstruse to my dense intellect. So, no alternative but to submit to a fresh beating. So, you say, I need beating only. It's all too much for me. I cannot understand, he says. What your view comes to, put in a syllogism, is this. Since I have done it and I am an avatar, Every other blessed creature can do it. So he's trying to draw inferences. Now let's just look at this. All of this is very nice. I have become wiser after reading the synthesis of yoga, later on Sri Rama, all of this. He is only declaring increase in wisdom inside of him. And he says, but all these have not answered any of my questions. My question is does a doctor do self-diagnosis? No. What about a mumukshu or a jignasu or somebody who is on the path of sadhana? Can that person say, "Ah, I am wiser now"? Can the shishya declare it to the guru? So this is actually a very, very funny statement. This is where which happens. This is a trap of the mind. We tell na atma eva bandhur atmana atma eva repur atmana. He's saying, see, what you are telling is too simple. You're simplifying things, you're oversimplifying things, and this is not working for me at all. Why? Because he's saying abstruse. My intellect is like this, which is complicating things, which has made everything. My intellect is very dense. So I have, but here he surrenders also. Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam, that is also there, where he says, so no alternative but to submit to a fresh beating. Meaning he understands, no, this is wrong, what he's saying. Somewhere he has understood it. But he says, you tell me now, since you are understand, you are coming to my level, come to my level and remove this doubt. Throw it away. What your view comes to is this. Since I have done it and I am an avatar, every other blessed creature can do it. Sri Aurobindo replies, this is idiotic. I have said, follow my path, the way I have discovered for you through my own efforts and examples. My question is Sri Aurobindo angry? He's saying this is idiotic. Means normally we see people don't use any such straight words, no? People have this habit of using flowery words, quoting some people quote their real intention behind something else. No, this is not, what is wrong is wrong. We must be ready to call a spade a spade. And that is why Master speaks directly. This is wrong. This is idiotic. The statement has no sense. That's what he has clearly told. But that does not mean we go and tell everybody, see, Sharindo is talking like this, so I can now start talking to anybody. My guide is there. I'm going to say what your statement is idiotic on the basis of logic. No, this is a Shishya Guru relationship. Here, the Guru is pointing out it is right there. But we must not get trapped. You also see he is getting this is not wrong, it's a wrong interpretation for anybody. If anybody infers like that. There were some santas in Maharashtra who would use swear words, most strong and harsh swear words. And the Shishyas would go like getting prasad, the swear word, they would go to get swear words only. And when the person comes in, their charitra, no? Their charitra is written, the Santa Charitra. But there you can't write the swear words, no? What the Guru has said. So they would write star, 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 because that would be hidden. In Marathi, they would call it fulya, 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 like that, because it is getting covered. But that is sometimes required. The Guru sometimes requires to point out, he says, this is idiotic statement. Let's see what Sri Aurobindo says. He says, what is his yoga? This is important because we get to understand the yoga of Sri Aurobindo here. What has he done? What is he saying? What is his, mission? Follow my path, the way I have discovered for you through my own efforts and example. Transform your nature from animal to the spiritual. Grow into a higher divine consciousness. All this you can do by your own aspiration, aided by the force of the divine Shakti. It is so clear. Means it is a twofold action. Human aspiration coupled by the strength descending from the divine. Our aspiration should not stop. Just because of our aspiration, we should not have that ahankar that I can do it because I have the aspiration. Remember, your aspiration is incomplete without receiving, without the reception of the strength from the Shakti. So they both go together. What should we do? We should transform our nature. Nature from what? From the animal to the spiritual and grow into a higher consciousness. It's actually a very important thing. Means, what is this animal nature? Because we say people are animals, we and we refer to the worst. But actually, worst people are not animals. Animals are very beautiful. Animals are very nice. They have a wonderful swabhava. But so, what is the animal nature which in human beings, which is not spiritual? Every lower nature, even anxiety, panic, all these are what we call lower natures, which are taking us away from what? Away from that divine consciousness. So transform this is what Sri Aurobindo is saying into the spiritual. Grow into a higher consciousness. What happens when we grow into a higher consciousness? As Krishna also says, Prashanta manasam hyenam. The Shanti comes. Jnanam labdhva param shantim. The knowledge will come accompanied by peace, a silence, a bliss, an understanding, a clarity, all these things. Uh, my question is, can we have clarity in the face of uncertainty? Is it possible to have clarity in the face of uncertainty? This is just one question which has come to mind right now. Anybody? Both seem to be opposite terms, isn't it? Clarity and uncertainty. But can we have clarity even though we are uncertain on the outer aspects? Can we have an inner clarity while facing great uncertain situations? Yes. Yes, this is the thing. This is the spiritual one. Yes, Dr. Vaishali ji. Yes, please.
Guru Krupa can help in these circumstances.
Ah, yes, Guru Krupa, the Shakti, we can say, divine Shakti, working from goddess, the Kripa of the Devi, Kripa of the Guru, Kripa of the Ishta, Aradhya, whichever name. We can say grace can allow us to become silent, peaceful, self-confident, and also having a great Viveka, clarity, even when everything is uncertain. Because that is what if that comes to us, we can understand that we are now rising above this animal nature is what? The nature which is bound by prakriti, isn't it? Prakriti is gunas, rajasic, tamasic, sattvic, reaction. Somebody tells something, reaction comes in. It's just movement of forces which is lower. That is the animal nature. The spiritual is one which is gunatita. The one is able to transform. The one is able to experience greater aspects of life. So this is the aim of Sri Aurobindo's yoga. If we want to just understand, no, it is for this to grow into a higher consciousness. This can be done only by having a firm aspiration. The day you stop aspiring, the day you decide, oh no, I am just limited by circumstances. My aspiration only is illegitimate. My aspiration is not practical. My aspiration cannot manifest at all. What is going to happen? You are going to shut the doors for receiving grace. The aspiration must go on. It must be there. And this is the entire journey, isn't it, of life also. Human aspiration to become divine. And human cannot be alone in becoming. Human needs the help. And that help comes from the divine. So this it is a two-pronged action. Sri Aurobindo goes on that if you please, is not the utterance of a madman or an imbecile. So humble and so straight. He's doing the sadhana for years and yet allowing people to question. And he says, "This is my statement. And I'm not a madman. I'm not such a person. I have said, I have opened the way. Now you, with the divine help, can follow it. I have not said the way, said, find the way for yourself as I did. There's a difference. He said, I have done it. I have done it. So he says, I have opened the way. He has shown the way. Now you, with the help of the divine, you can also find it. That's what Sharando is saying. Nirodbaran's questions go on. We'll look at some more. In the essays on the Gita, you say man is ignorant because there is upon the eyes of his soul and all its organs the seal of nature, Prakriti, Maya. She has minted him like a coin out of precious metal of the divine substance, but overlaid with a strong coating of the alloy of her phenomenal qualities, means gunas, phenomenal qualities, stamped with her own stamp and mark of animal humanity. And although the secret sign of Godhead is there, it is at first indistinguishable. This is from the essays on the Gita. Interestingly, just yesterday I had the chance to talk about something similar from in this three gunas and Maya. That was what was the topic about. Means this is nature. No, nature is with Maya binding. What is man? Man is like a coin, precious metal coin made of a precious divine substance. That coin has been minted by nature. And then what has nature done? On that precious divine substance, nature has put a alloy, a coating. Alloy of what? Her qualities. What are the qualities of nature? Gunas, isn't it? With her own stamp and mark of animal humanity. Means a stamp has been put. Nature has put a stamp after giving a coating on that coin. Base coin is something else, having a covering of qualities. On those, there is a stamp. And although the secret sign of the Godhead is there, means somewhere there is a secret sign of Godhead which is different from nature's sign, but it is indistinguishable. So it's not visible because it is being covered. Covered by what? Anybody? What is that phenomenon that prevents us from realizing our divinity? Anybody? If you want a hint. Okay, Chitraji, you're guessing, you're
Maya.
saying it.
Maya.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Juhiji has said it and Chitraji as well. If you see the shloka of the Bhagavad Gita on Maya, it is very nicely said. Devi Hyesha Gunamair Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Taranti Te. You have to penetrate this wheel of Maya. How is this Maya working? This Maya is working through the gunas, through coating, that coating on that coin that is preventing us from understanding that precious divine substance, which is the base of the coin. We are only seeing the outer coating and the outer seal. We are not able to see what is the divine. Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. The person has to penetrate that wheel and then go inside, and then only the realization will come. And that is exactly what we see here. It's actually beautifully written by Shervindu, but it's not fully resonated with our Dr. Nirodbaran. So let us look at this. Shervindu replies, Does it follow that the coating cannot be dissolved, nor the mark effaced? Then stamp the stamp of the Chimera on all efforts at spirituality and catalogue as asses and fools all who have attempted to rise beyond the human animal. All who have tried to follow the path of the Christ, the Buddha, stigmatized as folly Vedanta, Tantra, Yoga, the way of the Jinnas, Christ himself and Buddha, Pythagoras, Plato, and any pathfinder and seeker. So this wheel cannot not be removed, is what Sri Aurobindo is saying. I have said this stamp is there, but can it not be dissolved? Can that coating not be removed? We have the three gunas, isn't it? We are going to be functioning according to the three gunas. But isn't there some state which is beyond the three gunas, which we have to try to realize in our life, which is the state of gunatita? We have to no more be trapped by this limitation. Then experience it. Who knows? If you look at it, it might be a very different coin, which is gunatita. It is having no coating. It is what we can say iridescent only, maybe multiple auras, colors coming out of it. Well, that is the realization which is got. Otherwise, then what is the reason all of these great ones is given everybody's names from Plato, Pythagoras, Buddha, Christ, all the Vedantic rishis, all of them were then fools if this did not happen, if this is not possible at all for human beings. Why are these people trying? Why did they achieve? Or what did they achieve then if you were saying it's not possible? Nirodbaran goes on. I think it is time. Maybe we can, I think we call it, we'll stop here. If or if you want to look at some more question, we can look at it, or we could have a discussion of something if you wish to in light, because we are now reading once a week. And my tuition has started, or my workshop of Gita for me has started, Abhyas has started, so no new workshops are going to take place for some time. So that will give me a chance to study the Gita and understand it better. But on our Sundays, since we are reading this correspondence, we let us try to look at its practical aspect in our life also. So, in that terms, if anybody wishes to have any discussion connected with this topic which we saw today, in relevance to our life, we can have some questions then at the end, and then we'll have the summary as usual. So, anybody, if you would like to have any discussion, anything you wish to ask, you are most welcome. Something that we saw today. It could be anything. If not, we'll have the summary and then conclude. If it's up to you, all of you. Yes, please.
One thing you mentioned that people who are on the path of sadhana. So
Mhm.
how are those people recognized? Aren't we all on the path of sadhana, or
No, we are not all on the path of sadhana, Aditya.
so how do we
There
know
are
that?
those, no, miss, there is no, means, now how will we first see all the people? We cannot see all the people. We can say, now one
How will we
individual,
like, are we on the path of sadhana or not? So
means
how?
we and the ourself, is it?
Yes, yes.
It is a simple aspect where we are willing to learn, we are willing to grow, we are willing to observe ourselves. What is sadhana? Sadhana is a ability to grow ahead. No, I mean grow and walk on the path of spirituality. There is no rigidity. Like if you are now on the path of sadhana, are you getting triggered by somebody's snide remarks? Are you entering into means there are pitfalls they say on sadhana. Are you following any of these? Are you allowing desires to take over control of you? Then somewhere you are losing out and you'll have to start working. So, and I think we are all, we can say we are trying to understand Krishna, so we are doing sadhana definitely, but not everybody in the world. Krishna is Yogeshwara, so he's going to make everybody ultimately walk on that path, whether or not they are conscious. They may be calling another Godhead, they may be doing something, but through life experiences. But that is unconsciously moving ahead. Consciously moving ahead means you are more alert. That does not mean anybody who's on the path of sadhana will not make mistakes. It will happen. No problem. Sometimes people get worried. What if I get deviated? It's like I write an exam. What if I fail? So I will not write the exam only. And on the path of sadhana, if you are holding on firm to the divine, no, to your Godhead, there is no deviation, there is no detour. He has told Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. So what if I go tomorrow outside and catch a train to Chennai and then go to one particular market, and what if I suddenly lose all charge in my phone, and what if my pocket also gets picked, and then what if these are all hypothetical aspects of a reality when I'm never going to go? When that moment comes, I can worry about it. But instead, as I'm walking ahead, if I am alert, I'm trying to, like you see, now some doubts come, no? Doubts will come because it is a very natural thing. But how much are we entertaining those doubts, and how much are we allowing them to take us astray? That is important. Sometimes you don't have to think so much. Because Sherwinder told, no, here it is like Nirodbaran was saying, see, it's very simple, it's very straightforward. But here he says, no, 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 my mind is like this. So he is doing sadhana, but his mind is creating hurdles for himself. No, the mind is complicating things, making things more dense. So then there is a risk if you walk on that path with this attitude. So when we are on the sadhana, it is always best to have a discipline, have it, humility to understand what where we are going wrong. But anybody walking on the path is sadhana. It's like I am walking on the path, somebody may be running on the path. Somebody may get a lift only and the person is going too fast. But he's got a vehicle, somebody has given him hitched a ride. He's lucky or she's lucky. But anybody consciously, sadhana is the path of a sadhak. Who is a sadhak? A sadhak is a seeker. A seeker is who? It could be any student, any jignasu, somebody who wants to learn. So many names are there. Mumukshu, Jignasu, all these are who? These are all people who are trying to learn and grow. So if we are trying to learn and grow, we are sadhaks. What path we are taking is called sadhana. So that is it. How are we going ahead or how are we going back? That we can look at ourselves. Need a mirror. When we look at the mirror, we understand, right? I didn't comb my hair, right? Let me arrange it. Let me do it, right? Something like that. We need to take one step back and ask ourselves and be ready. Ready for what? Ready for introspection, and always be ready to receive criticism. There's a nice statement which says, Nindaka niyare rakhiyo, angan kuti chhawai, bin pani sabun bina, nirmal kare sohai. Keep your critics next to you, in your own garden only, keep them. Why? Without soap, without water, they will clear you and make you clean because they're continuously. Sometimes people say, what to do? My own brother is like this, my own sister is like this, my own father is like this, my own uncle is like this. All these statements people say they are creating difficulties. No, they are not creating difficulties. They are creating a ground for your sadhana to rapidly progress. Keep them closer. Pray to God, let them be like this only. Don't change them. Don't change them at all. Because then I will not get trapped. I will not get trapped in moha. I will not get attached. Because something wrong is happening, at least I will remain. I know this is wrong and this is what I don't want. So at least I got a clear picture of what is right, isn't it? So something like that, Aditya. So yes, all right. If any other question, anything needs to be asked, or we go to the summary after that. Most welcome. There's no limit. We can take this session ahead even for another 5 to 8 minutes if you wish to, if you have any questions. Otherwise, we look at the summary and conclude. I think that I'm having a side effect of talking for 3 hours, and now I'm just, I don't know, I do not know. I think I am only noticing slight difference in my way of talking, which I think has to be reintrospected. And if there's something wrong, you can tell me. Yes, please. So, any queries anybody has, or we conclude? All right, then we conclude with the Shanti mantra. No, not Shanti mantra, with the summary and then the Shanti mantra. Yes, please. Yes. Anybody would like to? Generally, anybody is going to Chitraji always. So again, today, if yes, nobody is summarizing, it is Chitraji then. Anyone wants to try, you please feel free. No, pehle aap is not required. Yes, Joyji is
I
trying.
can
All right.
I
Yeah,
can recall one or two points. So
yeah, yes,
here
please.
we were talking about emotions.
Hmm.
Like maybe there was one question. So it's not that we don't have to have any emotions. We don't have to be a machine without any emotions. It's good to have emotions. You also give an example of Ma. A mother has mamta, and that's also an emotion. So emotion is fine, but we should know when it's getting over emotional. Like we shouldn't get in the prison of emotion. Like emotion is there, but we also should know the higher truth and realization and act accordingly. Like भाव में बह के कुछ भी नहीं करना है, like not to be impulsive that way.
Barabar. Yes,
Understood.
yes. Yes, ji. Thank you,
Um,
Joyji. Yes,
but that's all I remember.
yes. Anything else? Yes, Dr. Vaishali ji?
Yeah, one more point that we should be able to transform ourselves and from it's not from we should not remain at lower level like animal and
Hmm.
we should be
Hmm.
able to transform ourselves
Hmm.
to higher level.
Yes, yes. And animal is not is animal does not mean we will be walking on fours or not. Just animal in the sense animal bound by Prakriti's rules. I should not get trapped by that.
Yeah.
Means I am in a system. I am very much in a system. I'm working in a system, but I am not a slave of the system. I am working for the divine who is beyond the system. Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. Many times we get constrained by the organizations we work for. We have our aspiration, we have our dreams, but then when hurdles come in, when we suddenly then surrender to the organization, thinking the organization is everything and supreme, and we equate our freedom to whatever the organization gives us, that is my max freedom. I don't have anything beyond that. But that is not the case because there is somebody who is sitting higher than the highest organization, and that is the divine. Sarvakshetreshu Bharata. In last few months, I have had the opportunity of seeing some of the very topmost organizational in charges. It is very interesting. They're in the best of the best institutes, but still, despite having such great powers, such great, wide freedoms, also they are feeling constrained. The real meaning why they are feeling constrained, they have themselves said. I am not trying to diagnose their condition. They have told from their own experience that that connection with the divine, that is somewhere in this getting diluted. They are trying to retrace their steps despite being so knowledgeable. You see the humility. I need to form that link to experience it. So that is something which we have to realize. Yes, beyond this nature and up to a divine nature, because that is the time we are going to enjoy Leela of Krishna. When we experience the divine nature, there is celebration, there is joy of life at all times. I've seen people who have got injured and are laughing despite the injury. Somebody in pain is also able to smile in that pain. Best example we have in our own delight family, Usha Maji. An excellent example of how to bear several years of pain with a smile because she's connected with the divine, which is liberating her. This is the highest consciousness. And that is an example, and we should learn from these examples. Krishna has also told us to learn from the examples. Yat yat acharati shrestha. So she is definitely one of those people we can learn from. Yes, please. Any other points?
I have a
Another
Yes.
example
question.
was Venugopal ji also.
Ah, yes. Well, late Venugopal ji hit so beautifully called Krishna the Joker. Hmm? And he had, I think, Anitiji, did you hear his audio anytime?
No, I've heard from you in the batches.
Okay, means the audio was not played, isn't it? No, he called everybody, all of the Delight family members. All of them are sadhaks, seekers on the Krishna's pada. He invoked Krishna's blessings for everybody. All the seekers on that path. He made everybody by his Ashirwad. Ashirwad itself, everybody will become seekers. Yes, yes. Juveji was adding something. Yes, please.
I wasn't adding, I had this question. So you
That is
talked about
addition, no? Hmm.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Addition in the sense of a question. Cool.
Yes.
So the question I was asking, you talked about some of your experiences that really great people in great positions are trying to retrace their steps for the connection with divine. So, is it like, does it happen that over the time, maybe our connection, a person's connection with with divine can be really good, and sometimes it can be weak on the basis of whether we are surrendered and how much
Hmm.
we are in the grip of vital or like vital forces,
Hmm.
or let's say Maya.
Lower vital, because higher vital is required, no? We
Huh.
saw today.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes. Lower vital.
So now, Juhiji, are you talking from a phone right now? Device.
Yes. Yeah.
Your device has something called network, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it the same everywhere at all times?
No.
Somewhere the signal becomes weak, isn't it?
Yep.
It is something like that. Our connection with the divine can become weak at times, but it is not a necessary aspect that it must become weak. Like after so many years, it is somewhere when we become attached. We've seen the story of Narada and Maya, isn't it?
Ah,
He
yes,
thought,
yes, 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 yes.
I'll never get trapped. I'll never get trapped in Maya, is what he said. Because I
Yep.
think of
And he
Krishna
got
all the
trapped.
time. He got because the Ahankar came in, no? So Ahankar
Uh-huh.
like takes a person. So that is that sometimes some people pray. This is not right prayer also. Ki give me hardships. Don't ever make that prayer. Give me hardships. But give me that connection which is always there. Krishna, no matter what happens, let me not lose this connection. I will take my efforts. My aspiration will always be highest. You also support that aspiration with the strength to keep it going. If both are there, the connection will not. It does not have to be like that. What Joiji has rightly said, it doesn't have to become weak. Sometimes when it is becoming weak, you can understand you're feeling restless. Arey, network kam ho gaya. I need to go to a better network area. Go to a temple, sit down quietly, sit quietly for some time, do some dhyana, get into better network area. Then again feel your restlessness disappear. It's a continuous
Right.
process. It's a continuous process.
Uh-huh.
It is a yeah. Yes, see?
Understood. I have one more addition to this.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, like, okay, we are always seeking connection with the divine. Like,
Ji.
that's what you said. We shouldn't ask for hardships, but we should seek the connection with the divine. Okay. So, in some of the philosophies, I would say, to get connected with the divine, there are lots of ways we have
Mhm.
seen, and we are also still seeing, and maybe some things are not still discovered. Who knows? So,
Mhm.
in some of the philosophies and organizations, let's say, people think about having a connections with the people who are serving divine. They call them gurus and whatnot. So,
Mhm.
is that also a way of progressing to have a
Yeah, yeah,
connection with
yeah,
divine?
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
But
You
why not
connect with,
having a direct connection with divine then?
when you
Like
don't
that
have a
would be a
direct,
correct
when
way,
you
no?
are, for example, you use your phone, your data pack is not working. You will borrow your hotspot or not.
Ah, yeah, I will.
You will not say, hey, I want my data, but data pack is not working, so what? You will not work or what? You have to do your work,
हाँ
no?
कुछ तो करना है.
एटलीस्ट
हाँ.
till मेरा डेटा पैक स्टार्ट करेगा उस समय तक तो बोरो करेंगे ठीक है बुरा लग रहा है बुरा लग रहा है किसी और का कनेक्शन यूज कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ, बट वर्क इज गोइंग अहेड, नो, वर्क हैज टू गो
Uh-huh.
अहेड. सो देन चलो ठीक है,
Yep.
get that connection, let
यही
your
सही.
data pack work on its own. Till then, be on borrowed. One way it is good if you are on
Data pack.
borrowed. Ha ha. I think it's nothing bad. Like for me, it's very simple. It is Guruji is there, Damleji is there. His data pack, I don't mind borrowing his hotspot. He has done such sadhana, so much is there. It's very easy. It's very easy to work for me. I don't have to worry about my own data pack should work. No, ठीक है, I'm getting it directly. A great network is there. So no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get access to some, if you get something like a strong Wi-Fi, we'll forget about data pack का story खत्म हो गया. No need, isn't it? So yeah, anyway, I think that did I answer the question, G? Or addition
जी,
was
it answers.
all right. Let's see. Okay, let's. I think if there's nothing else, we can conclude with the Shanti mantra. I'm sorry, with the summary.
We also
Yes.
saw in the in today's class that not all vital forces are bad.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
courage, confidence, self-confidence, all of
Self-confidence,
these.
strength also. Strength also. And sometimes we have to, pull that vital strength to receive strength in the physical as well, just as we need strength in the mental. Because some people have great mental resolve, but body does not support that mental resolve. Then they fall sick because now body has to become strong. Body has to change. I remember my friend in school. He used to, his leg would start shaking like a rabbit's, no? He was shivering. I did not understand what it was. I thought it was some medical condition. I was worried. But as I was very young, I didn't understand. Then, because when he grew up and I saw him angry at somebody and talking, again I saw the same leg shaking. Then I understood, no, it is just that. But he was able to hide it, at least not show it outside. His work was done, and that was enough. Earlier, instead of getting, whenever the teacher would scold, his leg would start shaking at somebody and hit. That we had some teachers who would give physical hits also. That was not something anybody liked. But that time he was very scared or timid in his appearance, in his approach. But later on, he's got transformed. So we need that. We need to transform our physical. For that, we need to pull. Means yes, energies, good energies from the vital plane also. That is why in the mother's ashram, sports also is given a lot of importance. You see, the students, they have a playground, they have even a boxing ring as well. I get to see every day, every Sunday, because we get a chance after cleaning up, we go for chai in the ashram playground. Though I'm not an ashram student, I get a free chance to have nice herbal tea there. But there is also a boxing ring, there's a basketball court, there's a tennis court, there's a swimming pool, they have a gymnastic separate center. What is all of this for? Because body is a instrument for the divine. And divine wants strong instruments. Why did Krishna choose Arjuna? Yeah, he was humble, he was nice, he was pure-hearted, yes, but he was also Mahabaho. His shoulders were broad and strong. Physically, also, he was a right instrument for the divine action. So this is also physical is important. Krishna has been emphasizing always idam shariram kaunteya. So vital will have to be invoked. But so vital good things are also there in it. Yes, Aditi ji. Anything else? Or we conclude?
I think just one point was we saw that this physical world is also a field where the forces from other worlds also manifest. So we should be careful in our thoughts as it can lead to manifestation of those here. So something
Yeah.
we saw. And actually, this has a connection with the previous classes where we saw humorously Dr. Nirodbaran told about the word demon,
Hmm.
something, and Shelvindo says not to use those as
Yeah,
it can
don't
lead.
say, yeah, I'm now,
Mhm.
I can, nothing will happen to me or something like that. He had that overconfidence. We
Yeah,
also saw
something.
one very good Shraddha reinforcement for self-confidence. The fact that Nirodbaran, he invoked, Ki Shrivendu is never going to leave me. He has given me that. That has become the permanent strength. This is actually good for us. This kind of things will allow us to throw away all doubts because self-doubts are a problem. You see, he got a spiritual experience and he's doubting that also. Mother is writing impurity on his head. Why will the mother write something like that? But this is the human swabhav. You see the greatness of Dr. Nirodbaran. The greatness that he has kept his faults in the front of the world. Who can do that? Only a sadhak who has gone ahead. No mana, apaman. Who is going to give him? What is he going to get? Nobody can take away what he received. A direct connection with Sri Aurobindo, what experience he had in his life. 100,000 people can say this is a useless life. What kind of waste? See, he didn't marry, he didn't do this, he didn't have this life. Look at his medical career. All these things don't make a difference to him because he has experienced, he has understood, he has risen to that state. Oh, so many people have met him and they only have nothing but brilliant things to say about Dr. Nirodbaran. So I think with this we are ready to conclude. Let us now conclude with the Shanti mantra. I'm telling it for the third time, but this time I'm telling it correctly. All right. Yes. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kashit dukha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Munde Jagat Guru. Punarmilama. We'll see again next Sunday. Regarding the next one Upanishad batch was planned, but due to this new opportunity for me to study the Gita in detail and understand it better, my studies are going on. So maybe in 2 3 weeks, if I do get an idea, we will have it will be either on Sri Aurobindo's Upanishad or it will be on the Isha Upanishad. But let us see. I will confirm it once I get a clarity. Namaste. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Namaste.